Are you gonna play the thing and and scream us in, Joe?
Welcome back to Can You Not?
You just heard the sounds of Lucid Sin. That was their track Neolithic. My friend Nick wanted to know if we could play one of their tracks. They're from the Cleveland Akron area, so definitely check them out.
The cool vocals were Joe though. Those
The vocals that.
But they should definitely record that.
Yeah,
probably.
That should be remixed. If there's ever a remix of our theme song, that should be just integrated into it. Kinda.
We have that little.
It's that ding. That's our normal theme song. It actually has a name too. It does. I'm hearing a lot of squeakiness, by the way. I hear something. Okay, now it's gone. Oh, that was me. That was me moving back and forth. I was like, the song that is our theme song, kind of, is called Fat Caps by Jason Shaw.
I feel like you told me that before.
Caps.
Or maybe Jesse asked if you said it while I was in the room or something like that.
I can't remember how I found it, but I think it works pretty well.
Yeah,
maybe it's time to mix things up though. Maybe we should get a different theme song.
Like the thing.
Yeah, maybe Neolithic will be our new theme song.
Good.
Sorry if I sound crazy, people. I got no stuff done.
Today's topic was actually chosen by Brian.
Yep.
Today's topic is travel.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh wait, I should say before we begin, are you getting like a different vibe, audience? Are you feeling something different about this episode? Because we're not recording it in mine and Jesse's apartment this time.
We're in my apartment,
What?
and James, who also lives here.
Can you smell the smell of cat? Can you smell?
What does that mean? Are you saying my apartment smells?
Can you smell the smell of mead? Can you smell the smell of James, Amber's roommate? How dare you?
Bless you, Ryan. Do you need a tissue?
Are you allergic to cats, Brian?
I don't think so. I think I'm allergic to life.
So, my question is relatively simple. With all the interest stirring up in space exploration funded through private companies, sometimes in communion with the government, would you ever go on a trip to Mars?
Yes.
How long will it take? Can I come back?
Let's say...
Is there anything there yet?
Okay.
These are the...
I thought they officially had discovered life on Mars. Not like plant life or something like a cell.
They might have discovered
You would not hear the end of it if that was the case.
They might have discovered the conditions that need to be there.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, there's running water on Mars in certain parts of Mars. But
who's to say
if you
there's
tilt
not
your head back here,
in those waters?
That's perfectly possible. The next rover that they're sending will actually be drilling into the Earth more to see if there's more samples of potential life. But, however, let's say the conditions are, it'll take 1.5 years to get there, you have to stay there for 1.5 years, and then you'll take 1.5 years to get back. For a grand total of, oh god, math. 4.5?
Yeah.
Would you say 1.5 years, 1.5 years, 1.5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4.5.
3, 4.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and there's already a small colony there, in this hypothetical.
Am I doing science or am I just chilling?
Am I
Your
alone?
choice.
How many people are with me?
You're going on a tour with 10 other people.
Oh, that's
Do I know them already?
No, they're all strangers.
I need more people.
I think, can I communicate with Earth?
Yeah, but it's gonna have a delay, obviously.
I feel like, probably, cause if I don't know what kind of sciencey thing I'd be doing that they need me, but if I actually had something to do, I don't think I'd want to be a tourist on, the 2-house city that might be there. There's not going to be a lot going on.
You don't want to stay in the same 2-house for
No, but if we're going to be building and expanding things and working on stuff, potentially. It depends a lot on things, though.
Maybe you could build a statue of me on Mars.
Yeah, because engineers build statues. You're right. Why didn't I think of that? Obviously.
What do you think, if you had to choose something, like a mission that you would have to accomplish on Mars, what would it be?
A mission on Mars?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Well, because I do my my field, I guess, right now is electrical engineering with a physics minor.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm leaning, as far as what I actually want to do with my life, I'm leaning more towards research, and I don't know what kind of research they need me to do. What would be really cool is if I totally gave up on that after college, and instead I was a farmer, and they said, hey, yo, will you grow beets on Mars? And I'd be like, yeah! And then, like, go do that. That would be kind of fun.
Grow potatoes to
like
make alcohol.
Movie. Wait, that's different.
The Matt Damon movie, which I still haven't seen, but I heard it's really good.
It's really good. I've seen it before. It's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would make so many movies on Mars. It would be insane.
Yeah, imagine.
It takes so many pictures.
Oh, if you were the person documenting it all, I bet they would have to have it. They'd take a historian with them or somebody to keep track of what's going on.
Imagine if you were the first person to make a movie completely in outer space. That'd be so cool.
That'd be awesome.
Is there a way we can close that door temporarily? It's creating a lot.
James,
of
could
noise.
you close that door?
Yeah, I got it.
I'll cut that part. Oh, that's so much better. What would I do on Mars? I think the documentarian historian thing would be pretty cool. Could combine 21st century tactics of vlogging with some classical 20th century tactics of documentary. Kind of cool. And then, but I would consider going. I mean, if it was only 4.5 years, which is still like a long time, don't get me wrong.
I've been in college longer than that.
But that would, to be a part of history, though, that would be so exciting.
I don't know. I'm trying to imagine, what about the first person who was born on Mars? Like, first Martian person.
Oh, maybe my job will be to go there and have a baby.
You can't. Oh, I guess you can help, but you can't have a baby,
have
Joe.
A baby on Mars. That'll be my only role. And then the rest of the time, I'll just watch movies and eat chips and.
Chips from the potatoes that I grow?
How inevitable would a Mars porno be though?
Aren't there already Mars pornos?
I mean,
but the problem is
people would immediately think oh yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is have sex on Mars, you know?
Because people always wonder
Well, it depends if they're all engineers and scientists. That might not actually be their first thought.
No, I'm talking about obviously that's not my first thought. My first thought is take all the pictures in the world.
I would want to stay busy because that's just me. I just constantly want to do things.
Yeah,
I would not just want to sit down.
I don't know if I'd be because obviously there'd be a huge screening process because even to be an astronaut there's this huge screening process. So I feel like a lot of it is less about do I want to go to Mars and more about is my GPA high enough? Is my resume good enough?
Am I strong enough?
Yeah, would I make it through? Would I make it through their screening process? And on top of that, if we're just now colonizing it, when we get there, I don't like being on farms because it's pretty for 2 days and then there's nothing to do. Yeah. And can you imagine if it's 4.5 years, I can't bring 4.5 years of books. I'd have to read everything on the screen. 4.5 years of reading everything on your computer.
And that's not even 4.5 years on the actual planet. You'd spend so much time just cramped in the spaceship.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's the worst part to me.
Related to the earlier question, people ask astronauts all the time, did you have sex up in the space station? And they're like, when there's no gravity, it's not very easy to perform sexually. So no.
But what you get
crazy.
from that?
I feel like that's the first thing that I feel like half of the people listening to the episode when they were like, "Would you go to Mars?" Everybody was like, "Mars sex, yes."
I'm just no. Okay, so I was just thinking is when you're in no gravity, it's really hard. So A, they tried. And B, I'm trying to imagine, I'm stereotyping really, really hard here, but these two engineering ass awkward people trying to have sex in a spaceship where it's already really hard, and they're like, oh god, this is too much.
I don't know if they're allowed to actually try, but
who's gonna stop? What about that guy who held up the baggie of weed in space? Because he might try.
Yeah, I imagine you probably have enough curiosity to be I don't know, because if you're there was the one dude who was up there for a year or something like that. That's a long time.
I don't. There are a lot of things I could say. I think I'm gonna let most of them go right now.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're kind of a family-friendly podcast, so
I know.
we should back up.
Yeah,
we bleep out our worst swears.
or at least we tried to during the drunk podcast.
Yeah, we might have missed a couple.
We did our
definitely
best.
Missed a couple. There's a lot of swears in that one.
It's a good one.
But I don't know. It's just like such a. I mean, I can say that now too. Like, 4.5 years is a long time, but then like when you think about it. Like, that would feel like a long time once you're actually in it.
And and the other thing that you're not counting too, like I brought up earlier, is the screening process.
Yeah.
It's like how long it would take to get ready to go up and do that. Like I imagine even if they have historians or whatever, you have to be. I feel like every person that they take up there, depending on where they are in,
they do that with the astronauts.
Yeah, I mean, just depending on where they are, like I guess in the colonization. Process, but like every person has to be as useful as physically possible because you can't have somebody who can't think on their feet and work through things.
You better like all the people you're gonna be stuck with for
you better be good
years.
at hating people without making them
How
mad
much
at you.
would that cost? Are we having to pay?
Oh, they better be paying
Yeah,
me.
I would say they pay you.
Okay, cool. Because I hope it's not like college where I applied to get rejected to pay for
and you're paying off Mars.
Unless we're far enough into the colonization process that they're able to charge you, and they can't just pay you. Dude, you come back with a fat wad of money though. I bet if you did that.
You'd have some
Maybe I would do it. Maybe I would try. Start doing push-ups.
I would start to miss certain things about Earth. I think I miss
the sky.
Yeah, I'd miss
air.
Damn near everything.
Yeah, the grass.
More people. The 10 people I have to look at.
Dude, but by the time you got to Mars, do you know how pretty it would look to not be in a spaceship anymore?
Oh my god.
It would be the best thing ever.
How quickly would I get tired of Mars though?
After like 3 days for me, probably.
There'd probably be certain days where you look out and you're like, wow, this is really beautiful. And certain days you're
look
like,
out across
look
out across my 20-foot by 20-foot potato farm. Wow, this is beautiful.
Question. Yeah. So would you go to Mars like that year-long travel just to stay there for the 3 days that you would be satisfied to do the year-long travel?
Yeah, would you still take it for like, let's say it was even just a 9-month journey and you were only there for like a week and then you had to come another 9 months? Would you?
Are they paying me?
Yeah.
If they're paying me, hell yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Although,
but a year and a half.
That's long enough to have a sex baby. Outer space baby.
Sex baby. What, Joe?
Oh my god.
What, Joe?
That means you have to conceive the child on the way there.
Why'd you say sex baby?
Like at the beginning of the trip.
It's a space baby, not a sex baby.
During launch, you are trying to conceive a child. And then you have to hope that it comes out.
It's like, oh god, the spaceship's taking off.
That would your
Literally.
whole
buckle your seatbelt.
Your whole week
so many
on Mars
innuendos
would
can
consist
go along with
of.
that. Ready for launch.
But the real question: would you come back with a superhuman baby?
Oh my gosh! No, it'd probably be weaker than most babies because it would be a new type of
I bet
gravity.
there'd be all kind of. I wonder. I know we're over time.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would actually pay a woman to conceive and carry a child in space just to see if it's.
Just to see what the effects would be.
Yeah.
Because you'd be really rolling the die a bit.
Yeah, like that's.
That'd be scary.
I feel like there's not enough money out there for most women to take
I
that
bet
kind
someone
of
would do
child.
it though.
Oh, I'm sure somebody would, but I feel like that would, like.
Yeah.
It's a child, you
That's
know, like that's wow, fun stuff.
Take
So
it
I
away,
will
Sniffles.
begin.
What'd you call it?
Sniffles.
Oh.
I will begin with
Sniffleupagus.
a quote to prompt the conversation.
Okay.
There's a quote by Mark Twain that says, "Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness."
I've heard that before.
This is what I want to discuss because I have a lot of friends that grew up. They didn't do a lot of traveling, like worldly traveling, but they considered me to be somewhat sheltered because I wasn't like the kid that was able to go to all the parties in middle school and stuff. So
Same.
There were parties in middle school?
I mean, I went to a few.
Sounds
of
like
them.
all three of us were that kid.
But generally, I wasn't like hanging out like all the time and stuff. So
Yeah.
a lot of my friends considered me sheltered for that fact, but they weren't a part of the type of family that would go on trips regularly. Like my family would at least travel the United States regularly.
That's
like
cool.
whether it was going to Alabama or Mississippi
What you
visiting
do?
family.
Oh, family. I
or-
was going to say, what's there to do in Alabama?
or just anywhere, you know, like.
Just like Minnesota.
Yeah, one of my brother's favorite things to do, instead of choosing to have a birthday party, he would choose to like go away for a weekend with the family. So I kind of feel like that benefited me more in some ways. I just wanted to talk about that, the importance of travel to success and, you know, all those things Mark Twain said.
By the way, James said we should call this episode SpaceSX instead of SpaceX.
That's so dumb.
I love it. That's a good thing, but I think it still kind of depends on your outlook. Because I've known friends, or maybe not even friends, maybe people I know would be a better term, who will like go off to Africa, and then they'll come back for like a mission trip. And they'll come back and be like,
helping the poor
I
children.
help so many children, and then they just go back to their venti
Yeah, see,
life.
those type of people I think miss the point.
Venti life.
You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to take something away from those experiences.
Yeah,
more.
like souvenirs.
More than looking at
Like-
your
like
life and
children.
going, wow, I'm glad I lived my life, which is so much better than all these other people.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to take something.
I got so much perspective because I learned that these people need help, and I was such a big help.
Exactly. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. I don't want to. I'm scared to talk about this because it's very related to what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
But I think it depends on how you approach traveling. Because if you're going to Disney World and like to the biggest mall in America and to like tourist attractions, I don't think you're gonna learn very much. And not to say that those things can't be fun, because I'm like a museum whore. Like I love museums. I want to go to all the museums. Those are touristy things.
Me too.
But like
Like if you went to the Pojijo Quaint House of Horrors and Wonders, which is a new museum, I'm
pretty
saying.
sure we went there when we were in DC. Pretty sure that's where we were. But
That's hilarious.
but I think it depends a lot on how you approach it and how you travel. And I think part of it too is if you're going with a mission trip, you're surrounded by people you already know, and somebody's already telling you what you're going to do, and you're just kind of handing over money for this experience, whereas I think with other kinds of travel, you have to plan out what you're going to do, which means you need to do a little bit of research and exploring about like how you want to actually spend the trip and that kind of stuff. So it's not just the act of going somewhere, it's kind of the whole process. And like, sure, there are ways to like make it easier or like go places without those extra things, but those extra things I think are important.
I agree with you, but I also feel like even with those things like mission trips, like I went on mission trips with my church, and
Where'd you mission to?
we went to West Virginia and the mountains.
They do need help over there.
Yeah, they did. They did a lot in that area, but I feel like it was less about us helping them and more about us learning from the people, like learning more about their culture than it was about, oh, you need this,
Right.
and I can do that for you, you know?
Well,
or
I think that says a lot.
you're
to
less
do-
fortunate, you know? And
Right.
like you said, that's the mindset.
Yeah,
that
that's how
go
you
with.
approach it. Like,
Right.
and especially if you're like, I don't know how old you were, but with mission trips, I feel like a lot of times there are like younger people going on those kinds of trips, and your leader, your mentors, I think really frame
Shape
how
that,
you end up
yeah.
viewing that and working with the people. No, I've never been on a mission trip. This is conjecture, so I don't go to church, so no mission trips for me. But
Just be your mission to get to a city at your
okay.
mission trip.
Because something
maybe-
that I really want to do is I'm in Engineers Without Borders on my college campus, and it's kind of like you can pick these service projects from the Engineers Without Borders like website, national website, and it's communities kind of around the world that are saying like we need this thing done, and it's not like, you know, it's not just going and doing some random thing. It's like stuff that can require some expertise. Like one of the projects was building a school. We can't do that. It's too much for our small chapter, but I feel like going in with something like that, I went to a conference, and a big part of it too is like, you know, if you're going somewhere in Africa, like, or if you're going somewhere, you know, just in one of these like places that you don't have any knowledge of the culture,
Yeah.
you like almost have to take a culture liaison with you, because like I remember this one guy was talking about like in this particular community, I don't remember where in Africa he was, but in this particular community, when they had meetings, they talked until it was figured out, and that could be 8-9 hour meetings, and people didn't get up and eat. So like this guy is European or American, or I think he's Australian, I think. But you know, there's 3 meals a day, so he had to communicate with the person in charge and say, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I can't do this, like I'm not used to this, and that kind of thing. So I think doing that kind of trip would be cool, but I feel like that also falls into like, you know, it's sort of like a mission trip, and it's like how you go into it, sort of stuff. So
I think it's important to do lots of research, obviously, ahead of time, even if it's somewhere just in the continental United States, you know, just get a little familiar with the area, see what a little bit of the culture is about, what's the vibe that people give, you know.
And I think people don't understand, like, there are different cultures, like, even within Cleveland.
True.
mm-hmm.
East Cleveland is a very different culture from Cleveland Heights, is a very different culture from Lakewood, from downtown area.
From Ohio City, like all
Yeah.
that
From
tree
Joe
on
and
it.
Jesse's apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe and Jesse's apartment is hands down the craziest place.
But I feel like even if you go into any kind of volunteer work where you're working with people to try and help people, if you go in with this idea that like, you know, I am better than you and I am here to present to you what you need and you are less than me because you need help.
Savior.
Yeah, I feel like if you go in anywhere with that mindset, it's not gonna...
Unless you go to Mars, because there's nobody to offend.
My
on Mars.
potatoes will be happy with what I can offer their measly little inferior...
But the thing that prompted this topic, I saw on the internet there was an argument between 2 people on Facebook. And a white person told a black person, he was telling the black person was talking about the conditions in his neighborhood and how things need to be better here, and it was a debate over something Trump had done in regard to Syria. And the guy was like, why are we so worried about things in other places when we have people that we need to worry about here? And the white guy was like, have you ever been to Africa? You should see where we saved you from. Like, something along those lines. And I'm like, this guy is absurd. So from both perspectives...
saved you from?
Yeah, so...
We saved you from?
It was a crazy thing to say, and that brought up the Mark Twain quote to me, but from both perspectives, to me it was crazy that the black guy couldn't see why it was important for a country like America to maybe not like do what they did, put your whole foot in another country's business, but to step in some situations why it's important with the power that we do have to assist where we can.
Right. Just like how the Nazis saved those poor Jews from a humble life of happiness and contentment.
Oh God.
I can't get over we saved you?
Yeah, that guy was pretty. So then from that guy's perspective, the fact, first of all, that he thought slavery was saving.
Yeah.
Like,
we kidnapped tons of people.
Then, part 2, the fact that, I don't know, just the fact, there was some more that he said along the lines of, like, just basically get over it, and you're really not doing that bad, and the fact that people within the United States ignore, like, completely the things that are going on right next door. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because America's better than everybody. We don't have problems. So
Right.
Yeah, we just fix other people's problems. That's what we do. Mission accomplished. George Bush, let's do this.
But it's crazy because even within the United States, it's still like other people's problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's irrelevant to you, so it's someone else's problem. It's within, and it's going on within your country. This is where you live. This is the country. This is the state, the city. Cleveland, be on alert. It's more than just what's going on next to you.
Speaking of being on alert, let's be on alert for our next sponsor scripted promotion.
Did you send it yet?
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
in all its glory.
Oh boy.
Hey, Amber.
Warby Parker.
What?
Warby motherfucking Parker.
How do you know that's what I was going to talk about?
Because I can read minds now.
What am I thinking right now?
It's weird. You're the only brain that I can't seem to read.
No, I think your powers are fine. My mind is just a hollow, empty void.
Anyway, so Warby Parker
A
is...
company that makes quality glasses.
Yes, and the cool part about it is...
That you can try them on from the comfort of your home.
Ugh. You're hurting my feeble brain. It can't take this much stimulation and amazement.
If you're so damn smart, then why don't you just finish the ad?
Because I have stage fright. You spelled fright wrong,
Oh.
I think. Anyway.
We're not on stage.
I have microphone fright.
You co-host a podcast.
I'm afraid of eggplants.
You can go to warbyparkertrial.com/canyonot to try on 5 frames for free from the comfort of your home. They specialize in a lot of retro styles, but you can find almost anything you
Like?
and you can order your favorite on.
Line?
So try Warby Parker to
Poop?
Shut the up, Joe. Try Warby Parker to poop. Who would you... What... Whoa. What would that even mean? Why would you ever guess that's what he was going to say?
What can I say? I have not the grand powers that you do.
warbyparkertrial.com/canyonot.
Joe, where do you think of this? I haven't traveled a lot. But a thing that I think about a lot is that, like, when I go places, I don't like doing touristy things. Usually, like, I don't know, I'm not really huge on, like, amusement parks, and I don't really like, I don't know, tours and, like, guided stuff, or, like, things with fences where I can't just kind of do whatever I want. So I'm always trying to, like, when James and I go places, because we went to Boston, which was really cool. We also went to Florida, but that was Disney World, but we went to Boston. So I was, like, trying to look for stuff. It's, like, you know, things that locals would know about. It's, like, you know, restaurants that are really, really good that aren't necessarily, like, on the map or, like, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that some of the really cool stuff is touristy stuff. So if you go in somewhere and you're like, I'm just going to try and find the local things. Like, I don't necessarily want to plan out all this touristy stuff. I just want to find cool local stuff to do because I don't just want to, like, follow the same path that everybody walks on when they come here. The problem is that a lot of that stuff is hit or miss, you know, because it's just these local things that you sort of stumble into, and they may not have been there very long, or, like, maybe it isn't something that a lot of people tell you about, but it's somewhere that you want to go. So I guess I'm just interested in talking about the difference between being a tourist and being a traveler. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know how often you guys travel, but, like, how you approach. Are you, like, into the touristy things, or do you do more just kind of, like, rolling around and seeing where you end up, or, like, that kind of stuff?
I feel like in the past I've done more of the touristy stuff with my family, but I personally am more into the rolling around, see what happens type of thing. Like, again, when we were on the mission trips, it wasn't like as much of, like, there were times when we were doing things, like, whether it was going to a house and building something or putting up drywall or whatever. And then after that, it was kind of like, explore, go find out what there is here, you know? And I feel like I would like to do that someday. I have a friend named Sean who actually, he used to travel back and forth to India with his family every summer.
That's so cool.
And once we graduated, he took time to travel the world. Like, he had an exchange student just like me our senior year. And so he went to Germany and he backpacked wherever. And now he, like, once Trump became president, he moved out of the country and he travels like that.
So he literally moved out of the country.
Yes, he literally moved out of the country. So he does that type of thing. And I feel like I wish I could do that, like, in the sense of just explore the world freely and not have any troubles.
Me too.
But I also feel like the whole tourist thing keeps you from, like, it keeps me grounded. It keeps me on track. You know, like, if I go somewhere and I have a plan, or even if my plan is, like, I'm gonna explore this part of the city for this long, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my family didn't travel a whole lot growing up. I wish we would have. So I've been trying to make up for it a little bit now. I've been traveling a little bit more, which I'm really glad I've been doing. And I don't know, it's interesting to think about that stuff. I think some of the stuff that are tourist, quote-unquote tourist attractions, by the way, Jesse always says to say tourist really funny. Or tour.
What?
He always says that you and I say it really weird, Amber.
Tour. I remember that day.
Oh, because he says like tour or something.
Tour.
Oh, okay.
And we say tour.
Tour.
We have two vowels in there.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep saying tour.
Lorraine County.
You know, I'm gonna be self-conscious about it now. Like, I think some of those tourist attractions didn't start out as such. It just became a thing, like, it was like one of those local hotspots, like you were saying, that was kind of cool to find. But then enough people go there, and then the restaurant or whatever, like, starts to have that reputation, and they get a big head about it.
I feel like we're subtweeting Melt right now.
That's kind of true, though. There's a place in the Cleveland area called The Melt, and it was always this kind of cool...
They do grilled cheese. They do crazy grilled cheese stuff.
It's like one of those places that you'd come upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's a chain, and they made their sandwiches smaller, and that could be its own topic.
How many
honestly.
aren't there like 6 of them now?
James,
But they're
didn't
all
you
in
say there were like
Ohio.
15 of them now?
There are 12 total now.
Yeah.
Are they
Is there-
outside of Ohio now?
No.
I was there opening week for their Columbus one back in, like, 2013 or whatever it was.
I know about that one.
But I guess, I don't know, as far as that kind of thing, another thing that I think about too is like, you know, where do I want to live after I'm done with school? Like, and a thought comes to me a lot is that I'm not super interested in living particularly anywhere, because once you've been in a place long enough, you kind of know everything that's happened, and it's hard to do new things.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that I think about a lot too is it better to like live one place for a while and get to know it beyond the tourist level and like in a really deep, like I know where like my favorite bars are, I know where all the stuff is, I know the local beers, like I know everything that I like here. Is it better to be the person to guide people around, or is it better to be the person who's moving from place to place and finding things? You know what I mean? Like, it's better to get really, really good at one place, or would you rather go around and be, like, vaguely aware of a bunch of different places?
I feel like I want to get really, really good at every place.
I don't think you're allowed. I
I
don't know if
like
that's...
that.
You need an infinite life.
Or multiple places, like.
Right.
I mean, it depends on the person, doesn't it? I mean, just...
Well, that's why
But
I'm asking.
it's hard to do that, though, like, to be really, really good at what, like, I'm sure none of the three of us have mastered all of Cleveland.
Well, I mean, I haven't mastered all of Cleveland, but I've had people, like, ask me, like, you know, okay, well, what are good places in Cleveland? And pretty much
Well,
from, like,
I could do that.
from downtown to Lakewood on the west side, like, I don't know everything, but as far as, like, well, do you want to get brunch, do you want to get dinner, do you want to drink, do you want to get coffee, like, I have places, like, scouted out, like...
True.
I could do that for Cleveland Heights, East Side area.
Joe's apartment.
Yep.
Joe's apartment for everything.
Every
single thing that you want.
You want something casual? Joe's apartment. You want something wild? Joe's apartment.
You want something formal?
I'm dressed formal at Amber's apartment today.
You should actually see Brian. I'm not even kidding.
He looks
literally
fly
wearing
as hell right
a
now.
tie, a suit coat.
His shoes are so dope.
Thanks.
What's the occasion, Brian?
A lot of business stuff today.
You said you're going to Joe's apartment?
Yep. About to get real formal at Joe's apartment.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm kind of like the same as what Brian said, is I want to get that with a bunch of places, but the thing is about that is that means that you gotta move, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've lived in Cleveland now for 2 years, and I feel like just this year I finally got it down to pat, like...
I agree.
But think about how fun that would be. Like, what if we, like, that weekend when we were in D.C., we saw so much that we were like, oh, we have to come back.
Right.
Like, what if we just moved to D.C. for, like, 2 years?
All
We
three
knew
of us.
everything. And then we were like,
just
all
like-
right, Seattle. 2 years. in
Dude,
Seattle.
let's move to Seattle!
Let's rename ourselves the Vagabond Podcast. Every 2 years we'll relocate to a
And it'll
new
be so
city
much
in the
fun,
world.
because you guys are just gonna be like, I'm gonna do a film job. I'm like, God, I have to find another engineering place! Oh my god! We're
That
like,
would be
go!
Amber's panicking and Joe and I are like, so yeah, we wrote another movie.
Speaking of names of podcasts, I discovered the other day there's another Can You Not podcast.
I didn't know we were gonna talk
The
about
Enemy.
They're not the
They're
enemy.
not the enemy.
Yet.
We don't want to make enemies.
Yet.
But it
We'll
is
see
kind
how
of
it
like,
goes.
why would you put up a podcast? It's the exact same name as ours, and we've been
We'll
around
see.
a year longer than they have.
We'll see.
More than a year.
They're a bunch of nerds.
I think we're the bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our edge.
So
Can I
weird.
shout out this map on the wall while we're talking about travel? There is literally a map where I'm like, my mind has been blown by this map.
It's called a South Side Up map, so they put
Yeah.
south on the top of the paper and
And
north on the bottom.
everything is upside down, but not upside down, because maybe
Because north and
are.
south
Okay.
aren't. Yeah.
maybe we're thinking upside down.
We like to promote a northern hemisphere is best because it has like United States and Russia.
I was
like,
looking at it and I was so confused, and then I was starting to get angry with myself. And then I read where it said who said north was up, and my mind was blown.
Yeah, this is still a Western centric. Like see how little Africa is? It's like tiny looking compared to Russia and the United States and stuff. It's still like the way it's
Yeah,
laid out
Africa
is
is
still.
huge.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but this map is still Western centric. But west is northern centric. I say west, whatever.
When are we finally gonna get an inverted global map? We always pretend like the top of land is like the best. But what if the underside of land and the deep underwater is actually?
We are so off topic, but do you want to hear something really cool that reminded me of?
What?
So you know how the oceans have tides with the moon?
No, I never heard that.
Okay.
Explain it to me in 30 seconds.
Can you just say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know how underground there's magma because it's all like melty and
No, I
stuff?
never heard of that either.
Brian, you know how like
Explain it to me
under
like
the
a
earth,
five.
like there's like magma like underneath the solid ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know that the magma in the center of the earth also experiences tides based on the
Wait,
moon?
really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know!
So if the moon was to like start breakdancing right now,
Breakdancing?
breakdancing, how screwed would we be?
I don't know, dude. That sounds like some really weird physics. I don't know how to do physics at breakdancing.
Okay, what if it was like that one episode of Doctor Who that you've never seen, where the moon is actually an egg for an alien creature, and then it hatches?
Well, okay, so pause. If it's an egg, as long as the mass and everything's the same, it wouldn't matter. If it hatches, I don't know, dude. Like,
Yeah, but then
then there's just a creature floating around where the moon was.
But
That
yeah,
probably
what
weighs
if
about the same.
That's
so
what I was
don't
about
know.
to say, because then all the mass is,
Except
or
the
majority
shell.
of the mass.
From
is
our scientifically
moving.
accurate episodes, you can get our iTunes, or Can You Not podcast. We were the only one on there until recently. Now you gotta look for us.
How
We're the ones
heavy
that-
is the shell?
Now we're looking at the one. It's the one that has the black background. It says C.Y.N ? Or give us a rating, and we'll read your rating on air. We're on
Joe,
SoundCloud.
if they're listening to us, they probably already found us.
I hope so. But they might not be listening to it on iTunes. They might be listening on SoundCloud, where you can get us on the app.
You're right.
Or you can go to soundcloud.com/CYN podcast. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on a lot of your favorite podcasting apps. Email us at canyouNotPodcast@gmail.com.
We're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube, yeah. Subscribe to us on there. We got all these platforms, guys.
We're everywhere.
We're probably the best Can You Not podcast without specifically
Probably.
shouting out another one.
Probably. Isn't there like, how many are there? I saw
2.
more than.
There's another one that's Can Letter You Not podcast. And that
Can
one just
Letter?
started last year, too. So.
Oh, can like the letter U.
Yeah.
Can letter you not.
Can letter U.
We're the most
Well.
ancient. We're the most we have 66
We're like the
episodes
elder
under our belt.
gods of
We
the
are
Can
the
You Not
Mewtwo
podcast.
of podcasts.
I was gonna say
Okay,
Cthulhu. We're on the same level here.
Oh,
Like
no, wait. We're Mew. We're not Mewtwo. We're Mew.
Cthulhu, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
They're not gonna listen to this anymore after this one. This is my really bad one.
This might chase away all the few listeners we actually have.
All because of the sniffles.
All because of this. What have you done, Brian?
That's what we were talking about too.
You're
It
not
wasn't
letting
any
me
of the-
sick on a podcast.
It wasn't about the moon being an egg or Cthulhu. It was that you're sniffling. You're right.
Your voice must always be immaculate for our
I'm
listeners.
so sorry. The
You
sexy
defound
voice will be
me.
back next week.
Then you're probably gonna get me sick, and then I'll have it.
No, it's just allergies.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Alright. And, what's our Can You Not for today?
Can those other podcasts not?
Yeah, can I?
Can you not and can you not?
One of them even
Ooh.
actually does this at the end of their show. They do a Can You Not at the end of the
Which
show.
one?
What?
Is it the?
And not to go in too much. I don't want to make enemies.
Is
we don't
it
make
the
enemies.
one that I listen to also?
Yeah.
Why? What are they can you nodding? Are they can you nodding Rihanna? Did they just call us whores?
Whoa, what?
Whoa.
Oh, wait.
No one said anything in this scene. You need to calm down. Brian, oh my god, he's smashing windows. Brian,
They called us whores, can they not?
Brian is tearing down that upside down map from the wall.
I flipped it back the other way.